Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the reverse slope defense and to expand upon it just a little bit. The first thing I want to show is, let's say this is our hill looking down and the enemy's coming this way and we're set up, not on the topographical crest, but the rear of the mountain. We are set up. The huge advantage will come if we have any type of indirect fire weapons, be it a mortar, be it a crude mortar. Now, I'm not saying go make mortars because it's illegal, but when the crap has hit the fan and when you have to take responsibility for your security and there's no law and order, it might be necessary to acquire these weapons to defend the innocent, towns, villages, whatever, from a force that is definitely evil, be it a force that's on this country, be it a foreign occupier, be it anything. Sometimes you will have to do things that we would not do now, and things that I do not promote right now. It's illegal. But let's talk about it as after the fact, and we need to acquire these weapons. Having any type of indirect fire weapons will be huge in the retreat or on the reverse slope defense. If you are able to put rounds into them while they're staging on the other side of the hill, it's very important. You can disrupt them and make sure they can't stage there. Putting rounds on the topographical crest before they attack you will disrupt them. It's a huge advantage to you by having these weapon systems. Let's say we're set up here and for some reason we need to make sure we have different elements. We're not going to take all our guys and put into the defense. We're going to have a reserve force to give us the ability to counterattack. That is a huge thing. You got to go quickly between offense and defense, very quickly. The quicker you go, the more chance you have of being successful. You're going to have a reserve force back here. This reserve force can do a few things. First of all, it's going to be your rear security, watching your back door for your guys. Also, what they can be doing is they could be finding withdrawal routes, planning these out. So if you do have to pick up quickly, they already know where the best place is to go. Hopefully this is your home terrain and you know it all. But if not, you need to find these routes quickly out of your area. They can also, your rear can also, reserve can also do flank security. So very important. They can be doing things. But the problem is their main purpose is to supplement the guys on the defense and to give the commander the capability of counterattacking and taking the fight to the enemy. So if they're doing something else, it's going to take a lot longer for them to get assembled back up to be put into the defense or to be put into the counterattack. So remember that. They need to be quickly be able to do that. Let's say the enemy force is coming here. We are not, for any reason, we can't stay and hold our position. For any reason, we have to withdraw. And what that's called is a retrograde. And a retrograde is, there's three types of retrograde. I know I'm going to be giving you a lot of meat here and it could be boring to some, and I apologize. This is very important to know these things if you are even serious about defending a larger area. Yeah, you could probably protect your retreat, but if you're thinking of a community-wide approach, you have to include this into your thought plan and your defensive plan. A retrograde. Some of you are probably saying, what is a retrograde? Never heard that. That's not tactical. But basically there's three types of retrograde. There's a delay, there's a withdrawal, and there's a retirement. I'm going to talk about one, and that's the delay. For some reason we have to get away from the enemy and we have to disengage from this fight. So what are we going to do? We're going to move. We can move to a more desirable terrain. If we have better terrain in the area for the defense, we could move. You could also have to move because let's say we're defending this town and there's multiple elements and we really don't have one clear-cut leader that's taking charge. And say there's elements here and here, and a couple of these elements decide, hey, this isn't looking good for us, or let's pick up and move somewhere else. By them moving, it definitely jeopardizes our defense and it jeopardizes this group set up here. So if friendlies move, you might have to move. So the moral of the story is have one leader. The one leader on any situation we'll call a retrograde of a delaying nature. So one leader, he decides, hey, we're going to retrograde, we're going to fight a delaying action for some tactical advantage. You could also be here and the leader says, hey, you need to move to do this task. And then you get up and do a retrograde or delaying action to get out of there to go do your other task. Also, you could take the enemy and retreat or delay back and try to draw him into an area that has better terrain for you and worse terrain for him. Either do an ambush or to position yourself to counterattack if the forces you have can be used more efficiently in a different setting, then you can definitely counterattack. Another important thing is the enemy is here and his supplies are here, his lines of communication are over here. If you can move that enemy, you're moving him further away from his lines of communication or his supply lines. He has no support. If he does need support, it's going to take him a long ways. Or vice versa, you move closer to your supplies, you move closer to your lines of communication, you move closer to where people can reinforce you. So it can go either way. It could be just a gain time. You are going to gain time, but you're going to give up space. So there's a trade-off. I'm going to gain some time before we come decisively engage, but I'm giving up real estate. It's also, you just trick the enemy. He doesn't know what you're doing. You're moving, and he's trying to figure out what is this guy doing, so it could slow him down, definitely. You have to remember that you have to tell all your people doing this has to be trained in the sense of what you're doing. Because if they don't know that we're just doing the delaying action, they could get very confused and their morale might go down because they're thinking, oh man, we're just retreating. We're retreating. What's the other guys doing? Are they getting their butts kicked too? So by telling them that, hey, we're going to do a retrograde delay, and they'll understand, hey, we're doing it for a reason. We're not getting our butts kicked. If not, the morale of your troops or the morale of your group is going to just crash to the bottom because they think they're losing. So make sure they know what it is. You want to inflict casualties as you go on a delaying action, but it's not priority one. Priority one is gaining time, losing real estate, but gaining time. If you can cause casualties on them as you're delaying, I mean, that's a huge plus. Especially if you find out that you're so outnumbered, it's definitely you need to go and fight another day. The thing about this is, the more space you have, the more opportunity you have to do a delaying action. If your town and retreat are set right here, you have no distance at all to do a delaying action. You can't do a delaying action. If you do a delaying action, you'll move past your areas that you're trying to protect, so it's counterproductive. So you have to remember, the guys here in this defense, they have to be very in good shape. They have to have some bit of mobility. If it's not vehicles, they have to be in great shape to walk across rough terrain. So remember this, if you put people out here that you know cannot conduct a delaying action, it takes that away from you. Or if you do conduct a delaying action, you're going to lose combat efficiency because people can't keep up, or the enemy's going to catch the stragglers, and that's not good for morale either. So make sure if you have people out here that they're in good shape. If you do have to do a delaying action and you have a little bit of time, maybe move the people that are not as quick, move them quicker and get them out of the way moving back, and then run your delaying action with the guys that are really physically fit. So there's a lot of things I covered. I'm trying to give you some more meat. I'm not going to go into the other parts of the retrograde, be it the withdrawal to retirement. I can if people want me to, but this is very important. This is a delaying action. Priority is given to getting more time, to changing either the enemy location, changing your location. Try to inflict some casualty on the enemy, but that's not priority. Thanks for watching.